Welcome back. We're talking a lot about dogs and about service to others this morning on the program, and next up a joyful but important conversation about service to our veterans, those who have given so much for our country and now need help from us and from the puppies. The Malinois Foundation does exactly that, working to develop service animals for veterans who are suffering from PTSD and maladies that a service animal can be an absolutely invaluable companion for. I'm pleased to be joined by Megan Robison from Mark Miller Subaru, sponsor of the Malinois Foundation, our pal Dan Hutchings, and a special new guest by the name of Nicholas. Hi, you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't quite know what to say about Nicholas. He might be the cutest pup ever.
Well, I mean, we're just eye candy that never gets looked at with him.
That's right. That's right. With a little guy like that, look at that guy. Training to be a service dog. Dan, if you would, for folks who may not be familiar with the Malinois Foundation, give a little bit of an overview and talk about your work.
Gladly. So the Malinois Foundation is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to place service dogs with veterans in need who have served us, right? It's one way that we can serve those who have served us so faithfully and honorably.
Indeed. And Megan, talk a little bit about your involvement and Mark Miller Subaru's involvement with the Malinois Foundation.
Yeah, so the Malinois Foundation is one of our 5 Love Promise partners. So we work with them all year long to give them any support that they need. Funding, volunteer work, awareness in the community. And we are excited to be doing our 2nd year of the Pause for Patriots campaign with the city of South Salt Lake. So last year we were able to place Tink with Christine, a U.S. veteran, and it was such an amazing journey. It was so awesome to see it from start to finish and how it changed her life. So we're doing that again, and just in the very beginning, but we just got Nick, so we had to show him off.
Absolutely, he is show-off worthy.
Yes.
You know, you said something just now that really resonated with me, and with respect to communications and the business that you're in. You're a huge part of the community, and you're also messaging constantly. We're a Subaru town here in Park City,
Yes.
and certainly Mark Miller Subaru has provided a lot of the vehicles in this town, but you have a platform because you're communicating with the community on such a regular basis, a really powerful platform to be able to shed light and benefit on organizations like the Malinois Foundation.
Yeah, that's what's most important to us, is giving back to the community, to organizations that do so much for all of us. And this one especially is so important because veterans, we need to be making sure we're taking care of them. They give their whole life to us. So anything we can do to give back is our goal, basically.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the journey of a pup like Nick, who you mentioned he's 10 weeks?
He's 10 weeks old and doing quite well for it. So when we have a spot available, we go and we start working with a breeder to identify a dog. You know, oftentimes a dog that it would be a good service animal candidate doesn't make a good pet. Right? They're very confident, and if you don't know what you're doing with them as far as training, they could be a holy terror for somebody.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Nick does, although he has a cute demeanor and everything, he can also be a holy terror when he wants to be. We start off a lot with age-appropriate socialization, right? When they're vaccinated and can get out more into the community in more public places, we transition. Before then, we're in more familiar environments that we know are safe. But just a lot of exposure to everything. Loud noises, hustle and bustle, high and low energy, different weird energy that the dog may be exposed to in different places, and just exposure. We also work a lot with expected behavior in an environment. So in an environment like this, right, the expected behavior is that they are at a certain energy and not being able to go and do whatever. Over the life of Nick, he'll go to work with my wife. Her employer has graciously allowed Nick to come to work and other service dogs to come to work with him for socialization. And so the dog starts to get in a routine. This is what we do. This is what we do. We also put a vest on him to differentiate training, environments and expected behavior versus being a dog, right? They are a dog at the end of the day. They still will play. They'll still go out and do things. But when that vest goes on, there's a different demeanor, different expected behavior.
And he learns through the process that there's sort of a part of his brain that applies to the vest.
Absolutely.
Is that a fair way to characterize? That's really interesting.
That's a great way to characterize it.
It's like going to work as a fireman.
It's like wearing a superhero cape, if you
No
will.
kidding, that's right. And I'm not sure if we can quite see it, and I don't want to bother Nick too much, but I love his patch on the back that indicates that he's on his way to matriculating to being an active service animal. And Dan, you said by the end of this year he'll be placed?
Yes,
correct.
In December, so hence the name Nicholas. He's our little Christmas
So
pup,
great,
so.
so great.
So he'll have received enough training by that point that we can place him with somebody and continue the training. And the training after that will last for about another year.
I see.
So it's, we've learned over time that, handing off a fully trained dog to somebody isn't the best way. But handing off a dog and involving that person as part of that training process enables whomever the recipient is to be able to handle them and have that confidence to go out and do it.
And that's an important relationship that the dog has to bring a great deal to, so to speak, in a way that a pet, there's not really an analogy there. It's a whole different deal, huh?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Indeed. Must be pretty sweet to have this as a part of your job. To
It
get
is.
to work with Dan and work with the dogs.
I'm very lucky, yes, to be able to do
Indeed.
this.
Well, it's great to see you guys. We should finish up by talking again about Service Paws and Patriots and some more information and where folks can go and find out more about it.
Yeah, so definitely visit Mark Miller Subaru. There will be information up there. Because we are in the very beginning of this second year of our campaign, we are looking for sponsors. So if anyone's interested, you can email lovepromise@markmiller.com.
Fantastic. Thanks, y'all, for coming. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. Dan, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yo, Nick, real pleasure, buddy. I'm expecting great things after
He'll be back.
graduation from you, young man. Thank you all for the work that you do. It's really great, and it's really fun to have you all here and hear about it. So we appreciate you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, the Malinois Foundation, go to markmillersubaru.com. Sponsors are needed for our veterans. Please consider becoming involved in a meaningful way. Quick break. We're continuing on with Bark City Television's Mountain Morning Show right after this.